Hey guys, it's Heather from Kell, and today we are going to be lettering for our July lettering challenge. So this is our lettering journal that we released earlier. I think we released it in December, and it sold out pretty much right away. And we ordered a restock, and we've just recently restocked these probably a month or two ago, and we still have some in stock. So if you haven't grabbed it, be sure to. But one thing that I love about this is that it comes with a monthly lettering challenge. So in today's video, we're going to be doing July words. And so I'm going to take a practice sheet out of the notebook. And I'm going to teach you guys how to letter these words. I usually use the Tombow Foodie pens. They're my favorite. At one point, I don't know if we still have these on the site. I think we do. I don't think we're sold out, but it comes with a hard tip and a soft tip. So you can grab this and try both. I like both of them for different reasons. I think today I'm going to use the soft tip. And I'm just going to teach you guys how to do all of our July words. It is not recommended to do all of the words at one time like I'm about to do in this video. Your hand, especially if you're not used to lettering, will cramp up. So I don't recommend doing what I'm about to do. I'm doing this so that as the month goes on, you can refer back to this video and re-watch it if there's a word that you get stuck on. But my suggestion is to do one word a day, or if you can't commit to it daily, do maybe 2 or 3 words every couple of days. Just because if you try to do more than that, like by the end of this video, my hand will be killing me. Yours would too. So let's go ahead and get started. If you need more of the basics of how to form like each individual letter, then I am going to recommend that you do our online lettering class, because it gives you all of the basics that you need. I'm trying to find, I have a page in here with the info. Yeah, here it is. So this is our online lettering class. It's at kellvaplan.teachable.com. And if you use code letter50 ! You'll get 50% off of the class. But it's an online class with printables, and it is great for teaching you how to form the different letters and stuff. So I'm kind of jumping in, assuming you already know how to do that. And we're just going to be working on kind of connecting those different letters. So we're going to start with the word, I'm using our July challenge. We're going to start with the word sunshine. So we're going to start kind of in between the baseline and the midline. We're going to go upstroke, downstroke, loop it through, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail, upstroke, downstroke, loop it through, straight up into your H, upstroke, downstroke, tail, downstroke, tail, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail, across, downstroke, upstroke. Sunshine. Next, we're going to do beach. We're going to start at the baseline, and we're going to go up and over and then down. And we're going to go upstroke, downstroke, bring it through straight into your E, downstroke, tail, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail, upstroke, downstroke, straight into your H, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail. Then we're going to do swim, upstroke, downstroke, loop it through, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail. Now we're going to do the word ice. Downstroke, upstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, straight into your E, downstroke, tail. Now we're going to do the word cream. Upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, loop it through, downstroke, tail, into your E, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail. Now we're going to do the word pool. Downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, loop it through, downstroke, upstroke, loop it through, downstroke, upstroke, loop it through, straight into your L, downstroke, tail. Then we're going to do the word travel. Downstroke, upstroke, loop it through, downstroke, tail, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail, downstroke, upstroke, into our E, upstroke, downstroke, tail, cross our T. Now we're going to go down here and do sandcastle because it's a big word. Upstroke, downstroke, loop it through, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, upstroke, downstroke, loop it through. And here you can see that I missed the connection. I usually try to make the letters connect, but I missed it. So I'm just going to take that tail and bring it out a little bit more. Then I'm going to go downstroke, straight into my L, downstroke, tail, straight into my E, cross my T. I'm going to come back up here and do the word surf, upstroke, downstroke, loop it through, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, loop it through, downstroke, up into our F. All right, next we're going to do the word sunscreen. Upstroke, downstroke, loop it through, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail, upstroke, downstroke, loop it through, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, loop it through, downstroke, tail, into our E, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail. Next, we're going to do heat wave, up, around, down, upstroke, downstroke, tail, into our E, upstroke, downstroke, tail, downstroke, tail, downstroke, tail, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail, upstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail, into our V and our E, and cross our T. Now we're going to come up here and squeeze in picnic, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, loop it through, downstroke, upstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail. All right. Next, we have the word fireworks. We have a lot of long words this month. Upstroke, downstroke, loop it through, downstroke, upstroke, loop it through, downstroke, tail, into our E, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, loop it through, into our R, into our K, and then S. Next we have flip-flops. I'm going to try and fit it here. And then L, I. I'm going to try this time to actually walk y'all through the F. So the F, you start at the bottom, upstroke over, you get to the top, and then you press down, and then you let up again. And then into your L, and then downstroke. And then downstroke, upstroke, loop it through, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke. All right, next we have road trip. So we're going to go upstroke, downstroke, loop it through, downstroke, upstroke, loop it through, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail. And then we're going to go downstroke, upstroke, loop it through, downstroke, tail, downstroke, tail, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, dot your I, cross your T. Now we have camping, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, loop it through, downstroke, tail, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail, upstroke, downstroke, loop it through. All right, next we have the word hiking. So we're gonna, with our H, we start at the bottom and we go up, and over and down. We go upstroke, downstroke, tail, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, 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 tail, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, loop it through. Now we have, oh my goodness, I just realized that this is like been moved. I really hope y'all been able to see this. We're going to keep going, and I'm going to hope that the camera was showing the words. All right, next we have the word camp. Upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke. Next we have the word ocean. Downstroke, upstroke, loop it through, upstroke, downstroke, into our E, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail. All right, now we have the word cruise. Upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, loop it through, downstroke, tail, upstroke, downstroke, downstroke, tail, downstroke, tail, upstroke, downstroke, loop it through into our E. Next we have festival. F's are really tricky. You start at the bottom, loop it through, and then bring it down, and then bring it up, and then bring that tail out into your E. Upstroke, downstroke, loop it through, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, into your L. Festival. All right, next we have the word adventure. So we're going to go upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail, down to your V, into your E, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, into your E, downstroke, into your E. Adventure. Now we're going to do garden. Upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, loop it through, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, loop it through, downstroke, tail, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, upstroke, downstroke, into your E, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail. Next we have lemonade. Upstroke, downstroke, into your E, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail, downstroke, upstroke, loop it through, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail, upstroke, downstroke, I'm getting all tongue twisted. Upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, upstroke, downstroke, into your E. We have biking, B, loop it through, I, straight into your K, I, and then G. All right, next we have boating. Upstroke, downstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, loop it through, downstroke, upstroke, loop it through, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke. Boating. All right, next we have palm. So we're going to go downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, loop it through, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, into your L, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, downstroke, upstroke, into your R, straight into your E, straight into your E. Palm tree. Next we have watermelon. Downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, tail, downstroke, into your E, upstroke, loop it through, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, into your E, L, O, in. All right, next we have fishing. So we're gonna go upstroke, downstroke, bring it out, downstroke, tail, upstroke, loop it through, downstroke, upstroke, tail, downstroke, upstroke, upstroke. I feel like I'm having a stroke. Like I can't say the words. Bleh. All right, our last word is bonfire. Bonfire. Upstroke, downstroke, loop it through. Downstroke, upstroke, loop it through. Downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, straight into your F, which is kind of tricky. And then bring out your tail. Downstroke, upstroke, loop it through. Downstroke, upstroke, straight into your E. All right, there we go. And this was our July challenge. So I'm going to write July here. Now, if you have this journal, then I highly recommend not only practicing on these pages. These pages are great for when you're learning the words, but then once you get a little more comfortable with the words, don't forget to go back to these in the back, because this is the space that you would actually write in your planner, which is much different. So you're going to have to get used to writing the words in a smaller space. And if you don't want to try it in your planner right away, you want to make sure that you can make it fit. Like here, I didn't have enough space. See, it went past. So then I could try again and try squeezing in the words a little bit tighter. But it's just a good place to practice in the same space that you would have in your planner. So I think this is like a crucial piece once you get used to a word to come try it and play around with how to write it in here before you write it in your planner. All right, if you like this video, I hope you hit the like button. If you want to see more of my videos, hit that subscribe button, and happy planning.